We've all done it, don't judge me. So right when I was about to leave my old job, we were having a big spring cleaning thing. We had this gigantic bookshelf, completely full of books that no one used. Our job was to go through and keep the ones that we were gonna use, put in one pile the books that should be donated to other churches, and then put one pile in books that are gonna get like donated to the Goodwill or just, you know, tossed. We Mary Kondo'd it before it was cool. So I'm going through these books and I find a bunch of books. They were gonna end up in the go away pile, and I just preferred that they would go away into my own personal library. I don't see what's wrong with that. And so I brought home these books that I stole from work. Let's go through them. Number 1, the Enchiridion on Faith, Hope, and Love. Everyone should read this. I've read selections. Enchiridion means handbook, so it's literally a teaching guide that St. Augustine wrote for brand new Christians. I mean, it's written in old school style, but it's very basic level if you want to learn about faith, hope, and love. St. Augustine, the Enchiridion on Faith, Hope, and Love, good times. A pamphlet on the O antiphons. So the O antiphons are pretty cool. In the last few days before Christmas, you can see right here, December 20th, December 21st, there are very specific songs that you're supposed to sing during Mass, and they all start with O. O wisdom, O sacred Lord, O flower of Jesse's stem. O come, Emmanuel is based off O Emmanuel, the song that you sing on December 23rd, otherwise known as Christmas Eve, or Christmas Adam. I just need to learn more about it. The O antiphons. I love finding random classic philosophy just in piles of books. So here's Boethius's The Consolation of Philosophy. I don't know what's in it. I just get this vibe that I should read, so I have it now. Here's one that I picked up before I really knew what it was. Enduring Faith, a story of African-American Catholicism in America. African-American Catholicism in America. I want to hear African-American Catholicism in other countries. That's going to be interesting. I thought it was more of a history, but it's actually more of a small group guide. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I think that the story of African-American Catholics in America is very fascinating and important. I'll talk about that more in October, which is actually Black Catholic History Month in October. Here's an opportunity that I just could not give up. The Baltimore Catechism. It's wonderful with all the really old school drawings, stuff about the Immaculate Conception. Number 2, are there more volumes? I know very little about the Baltimore Catechism. Someone, please tell me. When does a person sin by superstition? A person sins by superstition when he attributes to a creature the power that belongs to God alone. Use of charms or spell, believes in dreams or fortune telling, or goes to a spiritist. Not enough people read this guy. Thomas Merton, Life and Holiness. Friend of activist, prolific author, and cloistered monk. I've read his stuff on contemplative prayer. I've read The Seven-Story Mountain. I've read quotes from New Seeds of Contemplation. So I'm really excited to jump into Thomas Merton after that. Yes, I'm the kind of Catholic that reads Thomas Merton. Sue me. I don't know what I'm gonna find in here. It's a book about the early Christian fathers. So there's gonna be a lot of writings about monks and sayings of monks and how they taught, including the Didache, which is a thing. It's one of the earliest teaching documents in the church. I really like super old Christianity, and this is a book of super old Christianity. For anyone who knows me personally, they know that I have a frenemy relationship with Therese of Lisieux, so I had to pick this up. I have to learn more about her. Pretty certain that she is important to my spiritual life, and that idea makes me sigh in exasperation. Therese of Lisieux. The office that I used to work in used to have a multiple person ethnic communities office, an ethnic ministries office. So this was a big document for them, In Spirit and Truth, and reflections on the order of the Mass from Black Catholics in America. It's old, 1988, the year I was born. So I'm sure like ideas have happened. I could, read all these books, or I could like hang out with the black people in my church. Stephen. This one I was so stoked to find. The David Fleming translation of the Spiritual Exercises of St. Ignatius. The spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius are like the great thing St. Ignatius wrote, and they were not written in English. People have been translating them for centuries. Mostly they are very strict, very on-the-nose translations. Sometimes that gets problematic. So David Fleming went and did 2 translations, a very direct automatic translation, and then a modern translation. Take some artistic liberties? Yeah, artistic liberties. You can tell right away from the translation of the Anima Christi. Like, these are 2 different things. It's like regular The Message, but for St. Ignatius. And some of it's silly, but some of it's also very useful. And on top of that, you're not gonna really understand the last 50 years of the vibe of American Jesuitery unless you have the Fleming translation of the Spiritual Exercises. So I'm excited to own this, even just for like nerddom and reference sake. Never buy books from an expensive bookstore. Remember a book and buy it from a cheap place, or steal it for free. No Strangers to Violence, No Strangers to Love, the story of people who suffered and were martyred for the faith in the 20th century. Not all of them are canonized saints because it was so recent, but the stories are just utterly fascinating, and I cannot wait to read this book. The martyrs of the 20th century are really weird because we are still living in the direct repercussions of a lot of the politics that went to their martyrdom. How much of someone getting killed is martyrdom and how much of someone getting killed is political? And so this book, I expect to really dive into those questions. Politics, hatred, holiness, hatred because of ideas, hatred because of religious ideas. Complicated stuff and hard to live out now and hard to reflect on in such a recent past. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And the last two kind of go together. Living Your Strengths and Sherry Waddell's The Catholic Spiritual Gift Inventory. I needed some soul searching when I quit my job, so I stole these. I also have the Strengths Finder business thing, but these are the Catholic ones. I really want to know what my gifts are from the Holy Spirit. I guess I have to figure it out myself. So for the next few videos, that's what's going to be sitting up right behind my head. Those books are going to change every now and then, so whether I am. These books right here are going to be books I have read this year or finished this year. These two books I started a long time ago and finally finished them in January. Thank you, everybody. Especially thank you for watching my live video yesterday, and I will see you on Thursday. Steve the Missionary posts videos every Tuesday and Thursday and has a live video Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific. You can follow me at Twitter at Steve Missionary or my Facebook, facebook.com/Steve the Missionary. And my Patreon is coming up soon.